name is Dr. Samantha Smith. I am a home health physical therapist that specializes in knee replacements. And I first wanted to just mention my Facebook group. If you are not in my Facebook group, please join. It is so helpful. There's a lot of people in the group who have went through a knee replacement, so you can ask them questions. And then I am very active in the group as well. If you have any questions, I can help answer them. And then secondly, just want to mention my website. I have a website available with detailed blog posts written by me about just common questions. So the website is succeedcourses.com. So now let's get into the topic of this video. How much knee bending, knee flexion do you really need? So I know most of you have heard, or you've heard from your surgeon or your physical therapist, that you need 120 to 125 degrees of knee flexion. So a lot of people get stuck on this number. Some people, it's really easy to reach that 125 degrees of motion. They might have had a really flexible knee before surgery. Their knee might be a little bit thinner, so they don't have their calf muscle in the way or their thigh muscle in the way when they're bending their knee. So it becomes a little bit easier for some people. However, on the other hand, there are some people who maybe are a little bit older, their knees is stiff to begin with, they haven't had full range of motion for maybe years prior to surgery. So they get to, 105 to 110 degrees. And in my opinion, that is totally okay. But it really just depends on what your goals are. Are you severely limited with your activities throughout the day with just 110 degrees? If you are, then that is a conversation you'll have with your surgeon. There is a procedure that you can do to increase your knee bending range of motion. It's called a manipulation under anesthesia. I did a full video on the details of a manipulation under anesthesia. If you want to visit that video, I will also post it in the description below. But in short, a manipulation under anesthesia is a procedure where they put you under anesthesia and then the surgeon goes in and they bend your knee. So he just pushes on your knee, he or she pushes on your knee and slowly bends it to break up the scar tissue in there. So, by this procedure is usually done at 6 weeks. 6 to 9 weeks is the sweet spot, but they can do them up to 3 months post-surgery if you are really limited with your range of motion. So with that in mind, though, it is another procedure. You do have to go under anesthesia again, so that brings in risks. And then after the procedure, you are going to have more pain and swelling. So it is really up to you if you want to do a procedure like this. It's not for everybody. Some people, they're at 110 degrees and they're like, hey, I can do everything just fine in my house. I can go outside and, sit down and do some gardening. Maybe I can't squat all the way to the ground, but, you can function just fine with the range of motion that you do have. At 3 months post-surgery, you are still going to have the stiffness, and the stiffness is related to tight muscles, but it's mostly related to the swelling that is still going on in the knee. So if you feel like the stiffness in your knee is limiting your range of motion by 3 months, I would say there's a better way to think about that. So by 3 months post-surgery, if you are limited to 110 degrees, that's probably just as much as you're going to get with the knee bending. You probably won't get much further than that because scar tissue has formed at that point pretty thick. So you probably won't be able to bend it that much more. The stiffness is probably due to the swelling at that point and not due because of scar tissue or something like that. So I know we all get stuck on this 120 degrees number, but like I said, some people can get there and some people can't, and it's totally okay to get to 110 as long as you're able to live your life, because that's the whole point of the knee replacement surgery. Is you want to get back to your real life and things that you love doing, also because you want to get rid of the pain. So lots of reasons why we have our knee replaced, but just wanted to touch on this very common question. So if you have any questions, please leave comments below. Of course, join the Facebook group. I'll try to get to any questions in there. And again, thank you guys so much for